Hey guys, today I'm sharing with you the fragrances from my collection that I think would work really well in an office setting. I'd like to preface this video by saying that these are just my interpretation of office safe fragrances. I highly recommend that you test everything before you actually wear it to work, especially if your office is fragrance free or if they prefer really soft skin scents or low fragrance offices. My goal with this video was to find fragrances that weren't super loud. They don't project a whole ton. They are fairly mass appealing. They're fairly inoffensive while still being really pretty. And I don't know, I just wanted to sort of imagine I work in an office and what fragrances I would choose for that environment. The first fragrance that I want to talk about is Narciso Rodriguez for her Eau de Parfum. This is musk and rose and patchouli. And really the standout notes in this fragrance are the musk and the rose. This is so pretty. It lasts a really long time, but I don't find it to be too overwhelming of a scent. And the musk is very fresh smelling. It's just a very like softly sweet, fresh musk. And I think the rose is really nice. The patchouli to me does not stand out all that much. It's very much a background player and it doesn't smell like earthy or body odor or anything like that. And the bottle is gorgeous. I think this one would be so nice for a receptionist or someone who interacts with a lot of people in their office setting. I don't know, that's just kind of the vibe I get from this scent. This next fragrance is also a rose fragrance. This is Valentino Donna, and this fragrance is rose and iris, I believe. It is like a powdery rose. There's a little bit of leather in here, and this fragrance to me smells more like a boss, more of a confident, grown woman. It just smells very like in control and in charge. Again, this just isn't a very projecting perfume. It lasts a long time. But it isn't going to choke anybody out. I think this one would also be really nice for someone who interacts a lot with other people. I'm starting to sense a theme with all these fragrances because this is also a rosy fragrance, and there's also leather in this one. This is from Jo Malone. This is Peony and Blush Suede. This is the only Jo Malone fragrance that I own, and I've heard a lot of complaints about the longevity with Jo Malone fragrances, but I get fairly decent longevity out of this fragrance. I get about 6 hours, which is good, especially for a fragrance line that people say doesn't last. I would say 6 hours is fairly good. And this is Peony and Rose and Suede. So the leather isn't as dominant. It's a lot softer. And a lot more feminine. This one is a little fruity too. I can't remember the fruit that's in it, but it's very, I don't know, there's definitely like a fruit note. It's not citrus, it's sweeter than that. But I find this one to be more perfumey than the fragrances I typically tend to wear. This one smells very much like a perfume. This to me smells very polished and put together. This is someone who is very well manicured and she wants to smell approachable while still, you know, not being like overly friendly. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. But I think this one would be really nice in an office setting as well. Did I already talk about the projection? I find that this doesn't really project all that much. I think people who are really close to me can smell it, but definitely not even like an arm's length away. Since we're on the topic of fruity roses, I figured I would show a fragrance that I think would work better somewhere that had fairly warm or temperate weather year-round. This is from Coach. This is the Floral Eau de Parfum, and this is pineapple, gardenia, and rose. It is very juicy and very fresh. This to me skews a little younger, so I don't know if it would sort of undermine the wearer at work in particular to smell like this if they happened to be a little bit older. And while I don't personally feel that way, I know that that is just a truth about the world. I found with this fragrance that the sillage was fairly close to the skin, but it was fairly long lasting. I get 6 to 8 hours with this fragrance. Keeping with the fruity floral theme, Versace Eros Parfum Eau de Parfum is a perfect fruity floral in my opinion. This would also work for someone who lived somewhere where the weather was really warm or just generally warm year-round, didn't get super cold. To me, this is much more of like a spring and summer fragrance. This is lemon blossom, lemon, pomegranate, and jasmine. The Eau de Toilette is one of my favorite fruity fragrances. To me, the Eau de Toilette smells like a gummy bear. The Eau de Parfum, on the other hand, is much more floral. I think this is much better suited for professional environments, better than the Eau de Toilette. I think that this fragrance would just, like, I would want to work next to somebody who smelled like this. It just smells really nice. Again, moderate longevity and okay sillage. I think this one performs a little bit better, at least for the first few hours. So arm's reach, maybe even a little bit more, but it calms down towards the middle of the wear and becomes more of a close proximity scent. This next fragrance is the biggest departure from the sort of theme of these fragrances that I'm showing you. This is from Burberry. It's Burberry Brit For Her, or For Women. I don't really know which one it is. It's an eau de toilette, but it lasts so long, like insanely long. But it isn't a loud fragrance. It's very much a close to the skin kind of fragrance, and it's a musky lavender. Really, you have to like musk in order to really like this, and you have to like lavender. I think of all of these fragrances, this one leans the most masculine, and it's not really sweet at all. It's not even particularly floral. It's just, I would say lavender and musk is really like the dominant sort of feeling I get from this. This one is great for, I think, people who are worried about offending people. I think this one is just so subtle when it's on the skin. Like, it doesn't really smell like a perfume. It just sort of smells like maybe you used some lavender scented products and then you have this really clean musk that's working with it. I don't know. I think this one is probably the easiest one to agree with. Again, that's just my opinion. Maybe you absolutely hate this fragrance. But I think, you know, if you tend to like more musks or more masculine fragrances, this would be the one that you would most enjoy. This fragrance is for a woman who wants to stand out and smell unique. This is Carven Le Parfum, and this is Sweet Pea and Lilac, and it is a sweet, slightly fruity floral. This one lasts a really long time as well, and again, sort of moderate sillage. I think this one projects a little bit beyond your arm's reach. People will definitely smell you, and to me, this also smells like a boss fragrance. This is the type of woman who knows who she is, she knows what she wants, and she knows how to get it. I adore this fragrance in the spring and summer. I think it's just so different, and it doesn't smell like anything else I have. It smells a little, I don't know, it just smells really confident and put together, I guess. That's the best way to describe it. Definitely for someone who wants to project that sort of vibe at work. My last two fragrances are tuberose-based fragrances. I have Gucci Bloom first. This fragrance is tuberose and jasmine. It is very much a white floral fragrance. There is like a slight fruity note in the beginning, but that wears off fairly quickly and just leaves this gorgeous, slightly powdery, slightly sweet white floral. This lasts a good 8 hours with, again, okay projection, again, perfect for the office. To me, this smells like a very sweet, approachable, and reliable woman. I don't know, I kind of like imagine she's the type of person where when you're working on a project together, you know you can count on her to do her part and do it very well. And she smells good at the same time. And my last fragrance, also a tuberose fragrance, is Givenchy's L'Interdit Eau de Parfum. This is their newer release of the L'Interdit fragrance. So this is tuberose, orange blossom, and pear. It is, again, a white floral with a little bit of sweetness. The biggest difference between this and the others is this is incredibly long lasting and has a big projection. So if you are in an office that you can't wear really loud fragrances, I recommend going underneath your clothing or spraying and walking through it and going very light on the number of sprays that you use. This fragrance to me smells very polished and put together without feeling cold or uptight. She is polished and put together. She just has her shit together, you know? And she is still like friendly and warm. I really am like head over heels for this fragrance. I just think this really would work so well in an office setting. It's very likable, in my opinion. Those are the fragrances that I think would work really well in an office setting. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I would love to hear in the comments, if you work in an office, what fragrance do you wear and what do you look for in a fragrance if you're picking it out for work specifically? Or do you just wear whatever you want and make everybody deal with it? Again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video.